In this video, I'm going to be going over some facts you might not know about in Scorched Earth Ascended. These could be facts just about the map, the updates on the map, the story, or just like features that you didn't know about in the game. First off, we have the Mantis hand slot. Most people know that you can put stuff in the hands of the Mantis, like hatchets and stuff, but you can actually put gauntlets in there, which of course have armor, and you can get an insanely high one. Obviously right here, 1,000 armor on one is probably not realistic. But you can combo with that with a saddle, which means you could have two different pieces of armor on a Mantis, which, as you can see right here, this Rex is only taking 2 damage because I have 1,000 armor flak piece and then 230 armor saddle. But using these combos, you can make an absolutely ridiculously strong Mantis that can't be touched. Number 2, we have the Deathworm orbit camera. Trick doesn't work anymore. As you can see, I'm trying it right here. We're going to orbit camera and trying to look under the dunes, and it's not working. This was super useful for finding deathworms, and if you don't know what it was, basically in Ark Survival Evolved, you could use orbit camera to look under the sands, and you could see the deathworms just like this. This would allow you to basically find them super easily, and then you could just kill them off and get tons of XP. Number 3 is you can actually walk through walls, and I'll show you how. Basically with the scaffolding, you can place it down and you can actually walk through it, but now you can put a skin on it, the Frontier skin, and it allows you to walk through it because it has the same exact hitbox, it's just the skin. So that makes it to where you can easily just walk through these walls right here, and it's pretty satisfying watching it phase through, so you can make like hidden entrances and stuff with this. Number 4 is walking through walls again, except for this is a different method using the drawing paper and the Bob's Tall Tales thing. You can basically move it anywhere you want, and this time it doesn't just use like scaffolding. You can pretty much do this on anything that you can walk through, like doors, double doorways. You can do scaffolding too, or you can do like windows if you just want a small little entrance, and you could pretty much put it through everything, and then you'll have something you can walk through. Number 5, you have the Thorny Dragon saddle. If you may have noticed when you logged on that of course you don't spawn with the Thorny Dragon saddle and the Safari hat anymore if you don't have the DLCs like you did on Ark Survival Evolved, and I thought they were removed, and I think a few people did as well, but you can actually get them from killing the Manticore, I believe, and it'll give you these skins again. Of course I liked having it when I spawned in because I used them early game and not after I killed the Manticore, but I really did like the Thorny Dragon skin, and I'm glad it's still in the game because I thought for a little bit that it was actually removed. Number 6 is a small change in Ark Survival Ascended, but it's quite a nice one. It's like golems can actually like strafe or walk side to side, which is super useful. You can basically just slowly move, as well as you can like move diagonally as well, but you can only do it really slowly. Number 7, there's actually a way to get 5 extra levels in Ark Survival Ascended that you couldn't before, and only on Scorched Earth. If you get all of the Bob's Tall Tales Explorer notes, if you have the DLC, you can get an extra 5 levels, which is super useful and makes these like Explorer notes worth getting. Of course you do get XP bonus as well, so both of those are extremely useful. Number 8 is part of the lore or the Explorer notes. Basically, there's supposed to be a tech cave where the Colosseum is, or at least in the story anyway, and that is how they like ascend off the Ark or whatever and end up fighting the Overseer, but you can't do that on the Scorched Earth. Obviously you go there, there's no tech cave or anything. And it's kind of sad. I wish there was. I know a lot of people, including myself, were hoping that they would add a tech cave and like an overseer or something, or at least a tech cave to Scorched Earth, but they didn't do that, which is kind of sad. But if they did, it would be in the Colosseum area, I'm pretty sure, and I wish they would have. And then we also have mirrors. Mirrors actually work now in Ark Survival Ascended. Before, they were just like black boxes and didn't do anything, but now they actually reflect, kind of. Basically, everything they reflect is black, and the only thing you can actually see is the sky. But it's still cool that you can actually see a little bit of a reflection. We're taking a step in the right direction when it comes to these mirrors, and they're actually working. And then we have the alpha deathworms. These things are absolutely massive, and I feel like a lot of people don't realize how big they actually are. If you see this comparison right here, this is the comparison to a titanosaur, and you can see it's just a little bit taller, it looks like, and it is really huge. It's absolutely massive. I wanted to include that to show just how big these things really are. But in number 11, we have the alpha trophy heads. On Scorched Earth, you can get an alpha trophy head of the wyvern and the deathworm, and this is the only map that has custom heads for the actual alphas on the map, which is really sad because I feel like on something like Aberration, it'd be really cool to get like an alpha reaper head or basilisk head, but for some reason, Scorched Earth is the only map that added those. And at number 12, we have a creature that was supposed to be exclusive to Scorched Earth, but never ended up getting added, and it's called the Hive. We know this because it was in the dev kit for Ark Survival Evolved, and it was in there a long time ago. Of course, this was quite a while ago that this was actually found in the footage, but I thought I'd include it for the people that haven't even heard about it. But it is going to be on Scorched Earth, but I guess they scrapped it because they didn't really like it that much. And then we also recently, within the last few years, got a picture of the concept art for it, as you can see right here, and it definitely looks pretty cool. Basically, it would spawn in these creatures called the Swarm, and then they would attack you. So it would be kind of like a hive mind or whatever. You have the hive that spawns the Swarm that come attack you like in caves and stuff. I think this was a really cool idea, and I'm not sure why they didn't end up adding it to Scorched. At number 13 is Scorched Earth is the only story map to not introduce new tech items. All the other maps like Aberration, Extinction, Genesis 1, Genesis 2, they all introduced new tech engrams, but Scorched Earth did not. Obviously, I'm assuming because Scorched Earth came out before tech items did, but there was actually some hints that they might add more tech items, which I'll get into later in this list. But after that one, we have 14 is the cart physics. The new carts are in the game, and the physics of them don't really make any sense, as you can just pick up something and with like a wyvern or something, and you can see right here, it just floats in the sky, and I don't know, it's just using like levitating powers to stand there. Yeah, the physics in these carts don't really make any sense, but I thought I'd throw it in there because it's pretty funny. And number 15 is the Phoenix colors. A lot of people may have saw the trailer and saw the blue Phoenixes, but it's not just blue colors they can spawn in. They can spawn in all kinds of colors, and I spawned in a bunch here just to get a few colors, and the purple one is probably my favorite. It looks absolutely dope. The thing is, I think these are way rarer than normal ones, because I would have to spawn in like 10 to 15 Phoenixes just to get a different color than the base like orange or red that they normally spawn in. But of course you can get the blues, the pinks, the green, the purple, all of those. Number 16 is another fact for the story. Of course, a lot of people who play Ark for a long time probably know the story of this place, but I thought I'd tell some of the newer players. But basically, this destroyed city right here, where the church cave is, was actually, I guess, in the lore, destroyed by the Overseer, because the people that living were there were just like getting too powerful and too comfortable with the world. So like they just basically like sunk the entire city into the dunes, and that's why the cave is there. So pretty cool lore for when you go into the cave, knowing that the entire thing was kind of like completely destroyed like that. Number 17, I wanted to go over every creature that has a cart slot, which first we have the Dodicarus, then the Megatherium, then the Thyla, which the Thyla is funny because you can jump with it. Then we have the Woolly Rhino, the Dire Bear, the Calicatherium, the Iguanodon, the Trike, the Parasaur, the Patchy Rhinoceros, the Turtle, which I found kind of funny that you could put it on a turtle. Then we have the Equus, the Galley, the Megaloceros, the Anki, also one that I wasn't expecting. Beaver I wasn't expecting either, but you can do the Beaver. And then finally the Daedon. I tried spawning in a ton of different creatures, and these were all the ones it worked for. And it's quite interesting the amount of creatures you can put these carts on, but I thought it'd be interesting to show you all the creatures you can use the carts for if you want to like actually use the carts. Maybe you'll know which creatures to tame so you can use them. Number 18 has to do with the new potted plants. You can actually put a tree in the potted plants, and it was really hard because it only worked on a certain tree, like these Jalsho trees, for example, except for it like one out of every like 100 trees it would actually work on. I tried a bunch of different of the same exact tree and it wouldn't work. So basically I just had to go up to this specific tree right here, which I'll have the coordinates on screen if you want to get it, because this was the only tree that actually worked for me. There's probably more trees across the map because of course I didn't test every single tree on the entire map, but if you want to be able to use this tree in a pot, then this is the tree you need. And then we have the Tech Wyvern saddle. This is what I was mentioning earlier, but in the dev kit there was also a Tech Wyvern saddle, and this is one I wish they would have added because this is really sick. And of course the Wyvern is my favorite creature, so if they would have added a Tech saddle along with it, that would have been really cool. Obviously people said it might be useless because it has lasers on the front. Most Tech saddles do anyway, so like why would you need that? But I think it would be useful just for like having armor for your Wyvern, basically like make it really expensive to try to get the armor for the saddle. I think it would be pretty cool, and I wish they would have added this at some point, but they didn't. But of course they were going to add it at some point because they were working on it, and it's quite interesting to see that they had the Tech Wyvern saddle in the game. And finally I have a bit of a small change, but I thought I would include it because if you look at this wall right here in the church cave, there's nothing there. But if you look on Ark Survival Evolved, there was the old Manticore thing, which I thought was a really cool. I'm not sure why they removed that because it was kind of an iconic part of the cave, and for some reason they decided to remove it and it's completely gone. So I'm not sure what that one's about, but